What we're trying to argue today is that violence is a core public health issue. Health is often, to my mind, inaccurately described as the absence of disease, and some of the things that we've been hearing about at this conference today are the usual suspects of diabetes and cancers and dengue and Zika and things like that. That's often what we talk about when we're talking about the challenges facing the public health community. And of course, those are challenges and those are major issues, but they're not the sum total of what is facing us. So road traffic accidents have been acknowledged for a number of years, although that was hard work over a period of time to be acknowledged as a core public health issue, and now it is recognized as such. But other injuries do not get the same level of attention, and that is domestic violence, suicide, conflict or war, and gun violence. And as long as schools of public health and public health communities aren't focusing on these issues, we're not going to get a lot of traction, and we're not going to make them part of the core public health thinking that I would argue they should be and can be. And if we look at the Global Burden of Disease study from the Institute of Health Metrics and Evaluation at the University of Washington, we see that violence, as well as road injury, self-harm, account for quite a large percentage of deaths. So this is among males 15 to 49 globally. Violence accounts for 5% of deaths. And that's just the violence box there. That doesn't include the self-harm box. In a country like Guatemala, which I appreciate is a unique case perhaps, but 30% of deaths among men aged 15 to 49 is through violence. So there are some parts of the world, and Papua New Guinea is one, Guatemala and other parts of Central America are others, where violence is a very large proportion of deaths and of the global burden of disease. So if we take some of these numbers, let's say 5%, and among women it's about 1.7%, women aged 15 to 49. It's not the biggest contributor, but it is considerable. This was a poster when I was working in South Sudan. Armed conflict is health risk, which I think we would probably all agree with. I'm not quite sure what the picture of the baby in the pram is really supposed to signify, but there is this acknowledgement of conflict, armed violence, weapons as being a core health risk in some parts of the world, and perhaps this kind of message can get out further. Importantly as well, violence has been acknowledged in the Sustainable Development Goals. So I didn't set up the boxes there, but someone thankfully did. And SDG 16, now we normally talk about SDG 3 as the one that's relevant to us in the health community, but SDG 16, to promote peaceful and inclusive societies for sustainable development, provide access to justice for all, and build effective, accountable, inclusive institutions at all levels. And some of the targets under that significantly reduce all forms of violence and related death rates everywhere, and reduce illicit financial and arms flow, strengthen recovery and return of stolen assets, and combat all forms of organized crime with an indicator around seized small arms and light weapons. So there is acknowledgement in the SDGs of the need to address gun violence as one of the factors, one of the levers we have to address global challenges. So this is important for us, that it is included in the SDGs. Now, I did a bit of searching over the last few days. This is perhaps not precise, but I think it's broadly indicative. Even if it is 30% of deaths among men in Guatemala, or 5% of deaths among men globally, 1.7% of deaths among women globally, the academic public health community has largely ignored gun violence. So the International Journal of Epidemiology has had about 15,000 research articles, and doing a search on the word guns comes up with 0. BMC Public Health is the best, with a percentage of 0.02% of articles including the word gun. BMJ, Lancet, even smaller percentage. And most of those articles are relatively recent, which is at least a step in the right direction, I suppose. But if our major public health journals, our major medical journals are not publishing, then that's a question mark for us. Why is that not the case? Why is violence not seen as something that we should be paying attention to? Why is it something that we as researchers, we as practitioners, are not actually focusing on? So how do we show some leadership by including violence as a priority? So a recent article, not a research article, but a commentary in the American Journal of Public Health acknowledged the critical dearth of firearm research relative to the scope of the problem. Now, part of this in the US, at least, is that US Congress added language in 1996 that none of the funds made available for injury prevention and control at the CDC may be used to advocate or promote gun control. And this is true now for the National Institutes of Health as well. So they're actually not allowed to research gun control. So that's obviously stymied that level of research. But we in the global community, and this is a World Congress for Public Health, have an opportunity and a responsibility to include this in our thinking, and particularly in Australia, where we have a story to tell about gun control. I think it's important that we take the opportunity to do so. Now, there is some emerging research. This was a recent Lancet article that actually talks about firearm legislation and its impact on firearm-related deaths in 2009. So to look at which states adopted which policies and what kind of impact that had on firearm deaths. So there is some work finally being done. There's some acknowledgement, but of course we have a long way to go to improve the quality of research.